on Justin?
Yeah, he's going to see a couple hand specialists today, one this morning and one this afternoon, and then we'll know more from there. No status moving forward. Just he's going to see those two specialists today. I think there was one this morning at 8, and I think he's going to see another one this afternoon. I don't know that. We're just going to get the information from these specialists and then go from there.
Did he have further testing like last night or this morning, or is that all going to happen with the specialists?
It's going to happen more with the specialists, yeah.
It would seem like an index finger on a throwing hand would be almost impossible to play with. Would it be impossible to play if he's?
I don't know that. I'm sure there's a lot of information that we're gathering right now, but he's tough as they come. But we're going to make sure that whatever it is, we're going to do what's best for Justin long term.
So at this point, there's still a possibility that he'll play Thursday?
I don't know that. Like I said, we're going to wait and see what happens today, and we'll go from there.
You played quarterback. Did you ever try to play with something like that?
I was fortunate I didn't have anything happen to my hand. Yeah, he finished, Chris, but no updates on him. Again, tough customer. He played very well in the game.
Any other injuries from him?
Nothing to report for Thursday as of right now, but we'll know more here in the next 24 hours for practice tomorrow.
You just see from Easton, it couldn't have been easy to come in cold like that. The guys have played the actual games since September.
Yeah, Elliot, I thought he moved the team. I know the production wasn't there from the scoreboard perspective, but I think made some really strong throws. Thought he was strong with the ball. After he got the first half, behind him, I thought that in the second half he moved the team, made some plays with his legs. I think that series where he hit Q on the deep one and then followed it up with the big in route and then had a good scramble that caused the penalty down in the red zone. I thought that he did some good things that we can definitely build off of. I told him this last night. I really felt our team, when he went in the game, our team believed that he would move the team. And I think our team has been watching him now for 3 years, some of them 4 years. He was here in 2019, but they believe in Easton. They know what he can do, and I did think in the second half he did some things that we definitely need to build off of for this Thursday night.
That you've been around him, where have you seen the most growth from him?
In all ways as a quarterback, but I think mechanically, throwing the football with accuracy, I think he's really developed that sense of, hey, this is what my base needs to be. This is where my shoulders need to be. I think consistency with his stroke. And I thought you saw that last night. I thought you saw him really drive the football, throw it with touch, throw it, really drive it on some of those, in breaks. And, there was some, a tight third down throw to Keenan in a bunch of traffic that I thought was really good. That fourth down to Keenan, on the choice, he really ripped that, gave him a chance. And so, I think he's really improved mechanically. And then, he's really sharp. I mean, he studies. He's a gym rat. And then he gives you that dimension with his legs. So that's important with your backup quarterback, that you have that element of mobility, because you know that, hey, teams are probably going to pressure and stuff like that. So to have a guy that's smart and that can move, it gives you a chance. And I thought, as I mentioned, I think he can learn a lot from that tape and give our team confidence going into Thursday.
Do you have conversations with ownership? Have you had conversations with ownership about your future here throughout the season at all?
No.
And do you feel comfortable that you'll finish out the season this year if things continue this way?
I'm just focused on Thursday, Chris.
Brandon, with Easton, how much of the game plan could change because of his mobility and his run aspect?
Well, I think the good thing is Justin's got a lot of mobility too. Justin's a very good athlete, so I don't think it needs to change too much. There are going to be some things, I think, in the passing game that could change based on, Justin and Easton, and that's just natural. Your quarterbacks aren't going to be exactly the same, but I think the fact that we do have that dimension with his legs does give us that dual threat in the plan, and we think that's important just in general, but with him, maybe you can activate that even more.
I don't know if you've met with the team yet, but if you have or if you do, what will the message be? You're 5-8, 12th place in the AFC. What's the message to the team?
Yeah, the message, message after the game, what I told them. I haven't had a chance to meet with them yet because they're, today's just a recovery day for them, an off day. But, what I told them after the game was this is the tough side of the league. Sometimes the NFL, you're going to have seasons like this. where a lot happens like it's happened to us. And you need to face it as a team. You need to continue to make adjustments. And, hey, Justin went out and we needed to make adjustments. We needed to go give ourselves a chance to compete. I thought that when we scored there, we at least gave ourselves a chance to come back. But, we're going to have to, in a short time, put a really good plan together for Las Vegas. That's our job, to make sure that we go into Las Vegas with a chance to compete. And that's the short term, we can't really worry about what happened 3, 4, 5, 6 games ago. That's not where we need to go right now. We need to go to Las Vegas. We need to put a great game plan together and give ourselves a chance. And that's the NFL. You got to go give yourselves a chance in the plan. That's been, the message since day one. But when you go through a tough time like this, you have to focus even more because, when you lose your starting quarterback, you're going to have to make adjustments. You lose some star players like we've had throughout the years. Hey, you got to make adjustments. So that's where our focus is, on making the adjustments for Thursday.
Is there any chance Josh Palmer might come back this week?
To be determined. I think you guys saw, he was able to get on the practice field last week, which was a good sign. But again, we're going to make sure we do what's best for him. But he has been progressing on the practice field.
Just with Justin, obviously this is an injury to his throwing hand. You're talking about probably the most important person in the organization, right? As far as the future, how much do you have to factor in, protecting him? He's obviously a guy that's going to want to play. He's going to push to get on the field. How much as an organization do you have to think about protecting his future? 100%. You're talking about his right hand.
All of our focus has got to be on his future. So, and certainly there's nothing more important than his right hand and his long-term future. He's 25 years old, and he's got a really, really bright future in front of him. So, like I said, every decision that we make is going to be with that in mind.
And as far as pass protection, talked yesterday about blitzes. Just look at the numbers. Since Corey's gone out, Justin's been pressured a ton when teams have blitzed against you guys. You guys have still been efficient against the blitz, but in terms of the pressure that he's facing, yesterday he talked about a bunch of different things. It's a combination of things, identification, et cetera, et cetera. When you see that, how much pressure is coming against the blitz, how much does that fall on the plan, the protection plan that you guys are coming up with weekly, and how much of it is just on not having Corey, how much of it is on execution?
That's a good question. I think it's a combination of things. Like I said, I think after watching the tape, all the factors that I mentioned, I think that's all true. I think the film bears it out. But I think a big element, too, is in the NFL, when it's known pass, there's going to be pressure. When there's the designer aspect of the NFL and you've got good personnel on the other side, there's going to be pressure. Now, like you said, we've done a good job of handling the pressure because Justin, plays at a really high level under pressure. He always has. He always will. I think when you lose some receivers, that makes it even tougher. I think we've been able to really attack the pressure when we've been at full strength at wideout, and I think you've seen us, have really prolific years or prolific games when we're at full strength. But I really think the other part of it, Daniel, is just the run game. The more times you face pressure in the NFL or known pass where you get into the designer element of the NFL, the more it's going to be difficult to consistently execute. And that's where, as the marriage of the run and the pass and getting the run game going. I thought that we did some good things yesterday in the run game, some better things, not good enough, but that will solve a lot of problems, for your protection plan. Because you can have great protection plans, but there's going to be tough matchups, and there's not only in the pressure, but then there's tough matchups that you got to beat. And the more you're facing those type of situations, the more things could go wrong. And we need to continue to do a better job of staying balanced and limiting those opportunities for people to attack us.
I know you guys have said that you're obviously very happy with how Will's played as backup center coming and starting a bunch of games. But when Corey goes out, how much of the ID stuff, the identification stuff pre-snap, goes from what was on Corey to now on Justin?
It's the same. Will's as sharp as they come, Daniel, and that is the truth. And if you ask any of our coaches, our players, Will's is sharp as they come, and it's this quality of backup centers I've been around in the NFL. So we're very happy with him and how he's played. Not easy replacing an All-Pro. He's an All-Pro player, but Will's been an asset for us this year.
Keenan, he broke when you set the franchise record for receptions on Sunday. We've mentioned it before, but at this point, is there anything that he does or is doing that surprises you or impresses last year?
No, Chris, I thought he, in another big time matchup against Sertan, I thought you watched the tape. He's still winning. I mean, winning against the elite players in the league. He had a corner I really respect is Stephon Gilmore from Dallas, and Stephon is still playing at an elite level. And I think you watch Keenan and Stephon in that matchup. Keenan's still separating as well as he ever has. And he's given us a chance every Sunday to compete, to play good offense. He's having a career year, and I don't see him slowing down anytime soon. And even when Easton went in the game yesterday, you were still seeing the production from him. You were still seeing the separation. Easton was able to locate him, and that's what we're going to need moving forward is Keenan continuing to be who he is and then, playing good around him. We continue to, hopefully get Josh back here, whenever that time comes. Q had a good game yesterday. We just continue to keep adding around him, and you're going to see, even better.
Is it important for a backup quarterback to have a guy like Keenan there for Easton coming
Yeah,
back?
definitely. I think especially in the middle of the field or in those tight third downs where the coverage is tight, you need to know where you can go and trust with the ball. And I thought you saw Easton do that a couple times. He had the fourth down conversion. Then he had the one over the middle, which was a tight window throw, kind of to our left to Keenan. And that's what he provides. He provides that middle of the field target. Or, hey, if he's playing outside, hey, I can trust that a 50-50 ball, I can give it to him.
Do you with Keenan and Khalil, like the veterans on this team, I mean, when they were talking in the locker room yesterday, when they both spoke, they kind of just, spoke, as everyone did, with disappointment, but also they've been in the league, obviously, for a decade now.
Yeah.
Do you, obviously everybody wants to win, but do you, I don't know, do you feel any more towards those guys because of how long they've been and maybe how less they have moving forward?
You have no idea how much we're trying to win for them, and Keenan, I just have so much respect from afar, but when I came here as a young guy, how much he helped us implement and install a culture. And when you team up with these star players who have been through a lot, they help you a ton in getting your message across, and you got to work through them to do it. And I think what we've been able to do with guys like that is, number one, we've been able to feature them, and they've had really good years for us. But for those guys, winning, they've achieved a lot from a personal standpoint. Winning is what matters the most to those guys, and and that's all they're about. And going back to 2018 with Khalil, when he was 27, that was all he was about, was winning. And I think when he got to Chicago, he totally changed everything there, in terms of the standard and the culture, and he's done the same thing here. And so when you've accomplished that personal stuff and you've been player of the year and you've been all pro, you're reaching all these milestones, what you really want at the end of the day is to compete for a championship. And that's what, when I wake up, that's what I'm trying to do for these guys, because they're giving us so much, and we're going to keep working at it until we get there.
Khalil yesterday in the locker room talked about that 2018 Bears team. He was kind of reflecting on how these opportunities just don't come along that often, where you feel like you have a good enough team to compete for a Super Bowl. And he said everybody's got to want it, as bad as Khalil wants it. And you have guys that are in different stages of their career, guys that are rookies that think maybe these opportunities come around every season.
Yeah.
Khalil knows that it doesn't. So as a head coach, do you feel like you've done a good enough job of contextualizing that for everybody, from the guys that are in year 10 to year 1? How have you gone about trying to do that in terms of really telling these guys that these opportunities are few and far between in the league?
Yeah, I mean, I think since, I think the proof is, you would have to ask our guys that. I'm not going to speak for the team. But, I think every move that we've made since we've been here has been to try to join up with people that have those experiences, that have accomplished the most in the NFL, where you feel like, hey, they're going to give you what you're missing, or they're going to have the example for people who maybe haven't seen it. And I think that all of our moves and, free agents, trades, has been that in mind, to try to, teach these guys, hey, this is what a winner looks like. This is what a championship looks like. This is what an all-pro looks like. But it's a process, and I think that's what's frustrating sometimes about competition, is sometimes it just doesn't happen exactly when you want it to. And, this has been a tough year for us, because we've been right there. But all we can continue to do is, keep bringing in guys like Khalil Mack that perform like Khalil Mack, and good things will follow.
What did you see from your defense on film?
Like I said, after the game, played really tough. Thought we played really, really tough. We're improving. missed a couple tackles there. 3 or 4 routine tackles, or else I think it would have been an elite performance. But thought the plan was good enough. Thought our guys played physical, tough. But we needed to go play lights out yesterday, and it wasn't that level of a performance.
Will y'all's record impact Josh coming back at all?
I don't know that. If Josh is ready to play, he'll be out there. But we're going to make sure that we're going to do what's best for Josh.
We're getting a little hypotheticals here, but that's where we're at, I guess. If Easton ends up playing Thursday, would Max automatically be the backup, or would you? It's a short week, you only have a couple days.
Yeah.
But
I
would
think,
you be comfortable with Max being the backup?
Yeah, on that type of timeline, yes.
Any update on Dean Leonard, how he progressed late last week, and any possibility for Thursday?
I don't have a timetable on that, but we'll make sure that you're updated. I don't think he'll be ready for Thursday.